Hey, what's happening? You're on mute, love.
Hi, friends.
What's happening?
What is the crack? Oh,
All
lovely.
gravy, love. All gravy, baby.
Looking well for Paddy Joe Black.
I'm looking better than Paddy Joe Black looks.
Wouldn't be hard, mate. Wouldn't be hard.
You start off the day with an easy task, what?
Just look better than PJ.
How you keeping, Jim? You all good?
All good, Steve. What about yourself?
Doing good, mate. Doing good.
Good stuff. Is it your good self facilitating, or?
I am indeed. I am indeed. I'm hoping everything goes to plan here. I've got myself into the group as well because I'm going to share my screen on my phone so I can actually walk you through how to use the app and stuff and different bits and pieces. So
Good
you can
man.
hear me talking while I actually go
That
through it on
too,
my phone.
yeah.
So I'm hoping it all works out.
Cool.
So if you have a phone or you've got MyFitnessPal downloaded, it's probably a good idea to have that sitting out and ready and
Yeah, I was gonna say.
a wee notebook and pen and stuff like that so you can write any notes down.
A wee notebook.
A little notebook, yes, right there. Christopher, what's happening? You're on mute, my man. I can't hear a word you're saying.
Not mute anymore.
All right, Chris.
How you doing, Jim?
Sound. What about yourself, mate? All good, I hope.
I'm absolutely great, thanks, Jim.
Good stuff. Good.
I felt for you the other day being on your own with Andrew.
No, here, no hiding place.
That's always my worst nightmare, Jim.
Oh, for God's sake. Well, my legs are like jelly most mornings coming out of the class, but felt a wee bit worse. Maybe it was psychological or something.
Probably.
Hello, Christina. Good to see you. You're on mute there, love. Can't see it here. This must be muting everybody when they come in, is it?
Yeah.
It must automatically be on mute. There we go. There we go. That's us now. There's Anna. Jesus, Anna, I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know, how are you?
I'm doing good. How you keeping?
Good stuff. I'm unfit and unhealthy, hence why I'm here.
Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Well, hopefully you get something from it. I was saying there, I'm probably going to have to say this another 1 or 2 times whenever more people join in. I've got myself in the call here because I'm going to share my screen from my phone so that you can actually see what I'm doing on MyFitnessPal at the same time as I'm talking. So probably the best option there is if you have MyFitnessPal on your phone or whatever already, have it sitting open beside you, ready to use and stuff. And a wee notebook and pen would probably be handy as well because we're going to go through quite a bit of stuff. It can get a wee bit confusing. So write down, and any questions that you have as well, obviously you can write them down, and then we'll have a wee bit of a Q&A or any kind of problems that anyone's having. We can get into a wee bit more detail with it then at the end. Hello, Catherine. How's it going? You all good? Everyone's definitely getting muted here whenever they land in. Paddy Joe mustn't like talking to people. He must have that set up as an automatic kind of thing.
I'm sure you don't like that anyway.
Paddy Joe just likes to do all the talking. How's it going, Emma? You all good? Unmute yourself. You're muted.
And what? No, not too bad, thank you.
Good stuff. Plenty of people here. Oh, just a wee disclaimer as well. I am I was going to say currently with child. That's a wee bit weird, but I've got the way in today, so chances are we'll have a wee visitor popping his head in. He's down watching his funnies and stuff, so hopefully he's all right. But just to give you a wee warning, just in case he shouts up the stairs and needs me, I might need to bounce off and give him a good clip around the ear or something. Right. I'm just going to go through this wee list of people that I had here just to see. I'm not going to wait too much longer, okay? Because I want to get stuck into this. Anna, Christina, Ellie, Anna, Marcella, Nuala, Chloe, Stacey, Lauren.
We're waiting on Stacey. Steve-O, she's trying to get a now 2 wee seconds.
Head on. There's a couple of names on there that are, you know, I've said that they're definitely coming on. Like, so I'll give it another couple of minutes before we go. Okay.
So,
Grab a wee pen. I'll be back in a wee second, guys. Just grabbing a pen.
Danielle, what's happening?
Hi, Roach. How are you?
All good. I haven't seen you in so long. You keeping all good?
I'm all good. Check, I'm all good. I'm doing emails secretly here whilst I'm listening to you. Not ignoring you, I promise.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
That's it, kid. But here, I'm loving your stuff on Facebook. Loving all your positive vibes and your motivation.
Thanks, hon. Gotta keep the positive vibes going. You know what it is.
You do, you do.
I'm just gonna ring Stacey here 2 wee seconds.
No worries.
Roisin, see the link you sent me? I had to use Stephen's link. It
I
didn't work.
know. I've resent the other one into the group.
Just in case she's went on that one, I just logged out and went back
Probably
in.
has. She probably has, but I've sent it in, so just gonna ring her.
Right there's Stacey in the waiting room now. Right. Who's ready to rock and roll?
May.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, can't remember. So Stacey joined in there. So I'm going to share my screen at a wee later point during this call. Okay. Oh, hold on. Hold fire, there's Ellie. Don't want to say it twice. How's it going, Ellie? You all good? So I'm going to share my screen at some point during this call, okay? Hopefully it all works out and stuff, but it means that I'm going to be able to talk and show you MyFitnessPal and what I'm actually doing on screen. So you can hear what I'm saying and you can see what I'm doing on my phone. So it's probably a good idea if you have your phone sitting beside you with MyFitnessPal loaded up or whatever. And probably a notebook and a pen would probably be really, really useful as well. So you can write notes about what I'm talking about. And if you have any questions that come up during the call, that you can write them down, because I know, you know, something will come into your mind. And during the call, I'm going to have a wee bit of a Q&A towards the end. So if we kind of have those questions written down, it means that when the question goes in, it doesn't go out of your head again. You know, we can have that sitting there ready for the end of the call. So There's just Darren coming in as well. Hello, Darren. How are you, love?
Oh, sorry. Different Zoom link on the one that went out on the calendar.
Right, I'm going to do one more check here just before we go. So that is 5 burpees for every minute that you are late. Okay. 5 burpees for every minute that you're late. And if you don't send me a video of you doing those, then it didn't fucking happen. And I hate your guts and I never want to see you ever again. Okay. Right, guys. So first of all, thank you very much for taking the time out of your Saturday to come along and listen to me talking about nutrition and MyFitnessPal and all those kinds of things. Okay. I have been using MyFitnessPal for so many years. Okay. And I understand that it can be confusing, very confusing sometimes when it's the first thing, it's the first time that you've actually come to, you know, counting calories and those kinds of things. The app can be a wee bit daunting. There's so many different features in it, but I'm going to go through today the main things that I think are most important when using MyFitnessPal. And obviously we want to use it to the best of our ability. So we want to be able to make sure that what we're tracking is as accurate a reflection of what we're having to eat. Okay. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Tracking your food is not the most exciting thing in the world. Actually, it can feel like a bit of a boring thing to do. It can be a bit of a pain in the arse. But if you stick with it, what it's going to do, it's going to give you a bit more awareness of the food that you're eating. It's going to give you a bit more of an idea about portion sizes and these kinds of things. It's going to teach you. And as long as you use it mindfully and you use it and you actually take the information on rather than just kind of scanning things and just putting it in and going about your day, it actually means that in the long haul, you're probably not going to need to track for the rest of your life. That's the one thing that a lot of people think. It's like, if I start tracking my calories, I'm going to need to track them forever and ever. Otherwise, you know, I'm going to gain weight again or whatever. Whenever you kind of use it and you pay attention to the things that you're doing while you're using it, you get a better idea of the things that are on your plate so that you can have a better estimation about, you know, things like how many calories is likely to be on that plate, how many grams of protein are in that portion. And, you know, I mean, the obvious one is how many people have went onto MyFitnessPal and logged a piece of chicken, and because the serving size was 100 grams, they went, yep, that's it. No idea what 100 grams of chicken fucking looks like. Okay. So you could actually be overeating because a piece of chicken could be 150 grams and you go, yep, that's 100 grams, no problem. And then you worrying about, you know, 100 grams of rice and all this kind of stuff. It's going to give you a better idea when it comes to, you know, eyeballing things in the future. Okay. And on the other side of the equation, we could be severely undereating, which is not good at all. Anyone who is with the goal of losing weight, obviously, you know, you're going to be wanting to be eating less calories than, you know, required for your body to use and stuff, so that you are in a calorie deficit. But if you're in such a calorie deficit, then it's probably not going to be sustainable, which will then lead to the weekend coming, your stomach's rumbling like hell and your body's like, can I get all those calories that you're supposed to have given me? Can I get them back now? And it's probably not going to last long term. So on either side of the spectrum, I would say most people should have some sort of a background in counting calories and figuring out what a portion size looks like and all those kinds of things. Okay. We're going to talk about calories, obviously, because it's one of the main things, whether it's gaining weight, keeping the weight that you have at the minute you're so maintaining, or losing weight, or whatever the goal is. Calories are going to become very, very important. Okay. Especially if we have a specific goal. So let's say someone comes in and says, I want to lose a stone of weight, or I want to gain a stone of weight. You know, that's a specific goal that they have. And in order to do that, we're going to have to start talking about specifics or specific numbers. And we all do it when we're in the gym or, you know, we're training or whatever. You know, week 1, we do squats and we do it with 10 kilos. And then the following week, we don't go back to the same 10 kilos. We increase that because we know that we're going to get better and we're going to perform better and we're going to get stronger and all these things. Same sort of idea. We're logging our gym workouts, and we're logging our food so that we have the best representation of progress. Okay. Also going to be talking a bit about food quality and food quantity. Okay, because obviously that's going to have a big part to play. We're not just talking about calories. We want to obviously perform better because we want to be fitter, we want to be healthier, and all these kinds of things. It's not just about whether we're gaining weight or whether we're losing weight. We want to make sure that we're getting, you know, very nutrient dense food, but at the same time, we don't want to feel shit for eating a cookie every now and again. Do you know what I mean? Going to touch a wee bit on supplementation, whether we need supplements, what kind of supplements you may want to be thinking about taking and stuff. Again, not going to be diving too deep into that, okay? It's more so going to be around about the kind of health thing, and then we're going to get into questions. Does that sound good to you guys? Good stuff. So, the first question that normally creeps up when someone, you know, asks about their food and their diet and stuff is how many calories should I be eating? So I'm sure we can all agree that we've all probably asked that to a coach at some point. Yeah. So here's a question that I want to ask you. What is a calorie?
Unit of energy.
Good stuff. Good stuff. It's not a wee monster that lives in your cupboard or your wardrobe that makes your clothes smaller. Yeah. So it's a unit of energy. Okay. Unit of energy. And it's actually for, you know, it's used for heating water. So to boil a liter of water to 100 degrees, you're going to need 100 calories. So it's 1 calorie per 1 milliliter of water, okay, to raise the temperature of that water by 1 degree. That's just how the unit is made up, and that's what it is, okay? So how many calories do you need? So we're going to talk about things like being in calorie maintenance. That is whenever you are consuming an equal amount of calories that your body requires on a day, a month, a year, a week, whatever. And at the end, if you're in calorie maintenance, then your body weight is going to stay the same. Okay. I'm going to talk about being in a calorie surplus, which is where you consume more calories than your body requires on a daily or weekly, monthly basis, whatever. And if you're in a surplus, that means that you're going to gain some body weight. If you're in a calorie deficit, then that means that you are eating less calories than your body needs on a daily or weekly, monthly basis, and your body weight is going to decrease. Okay, so you're going to lose some weight. So I'm going to share my screen. If you just give me a wee second here. Share screen, and we will go here. Thanks very much, Patty Joe, for sending me out. Anyway, where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? You. Can you guys see this on your screen all right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
PJ's just off the phone to me. There's a load of people trying to get in.
Right, okay.
Steve-O, sorry, the link that you'd sent in was for a different one.
Yeah, I deleted that and then took it off and put on the one that was on the confirmation.
The last one of the group chat is the one I just used to let me in.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anybody wants to try that one.
Yeah, that's the one that was on the email confirmation.
The one that
in
you
like
sent at 10 to 1. That's the one that I used.
Yeah, it ends in like 5-9, I think.
Yeah.
How many people's trying to get in there, Patty Joe? Hold on, I can't see you. Oh, yeah. Is there many people trying to get in?
I've got about 5 or 6.
Right, okay. I'm going to hold off then.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Can we take photos of these slides?
You can do whatever you want, yeah. Absolutely. You can take a photo of me if you like.
Already have.
Strike a pose.
Hello, Nuala. Phoebe as well. Was that everyone, Patty Joe, do you think? No?
Marcella, Chloe, Orla should be coming on.
Okay, Marcella's there, Phoebe's there, Nula's there. Where's Chloe now?
Is calorie surplus just, is that for gaining weight? Is that what you were saying?
For gaining, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's whenever you're eating more calories. What are we thinking, Patty Joe? Is that us or?
There's just one more. Should it be an Orla?
Orla?
Yeah. Yeah, so even if you just want to keep an eye on that, Steve, or
If she lands in, then just let her in.
yeah, the other thing is 2 sacks here. There she is. Can you move that screen, Steve?
Move what screen?
Your screen, as in, like, can you move the slides on there?
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Just because I took,
Yep.
yeah, that's good. I took the host back there. That's all it was. You're all good to go, or Steve? Sorry.
Radio. Wait a second here. Right, guys. We'll go from the current slide and just make sure that I'm able to scoot through these, okay? Can everybody see this up onto the screen? Yes? Yeah. All good? Good stuff. So we just went through, quickly what a calorie was, okay? First thing that most people ask is how many calories should be taken or how many calories should be eaten. Don't even know what a calorie is. A calorie is just a unit of energy. One calorie used to heat 1 milliliter of water by 1 degree, okay? So to heat a liter of water to 100 degrees, you're going to need 100 calories to do that, okay? It's just a unit of energy there, okay? So we're talking about how many calories you need, but to understand, a couple of different things that I'm going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about calorie maintenance, calorie deficits, and calorie surpluses, okay? So calorie surplus is where you are eating more calories than your body needs on a daily or weekly, monthly basis. And with a calorie surplus, your body weight is going to increase, okay? With calorie maintenance, it's kind of in the name. You're eating the exact amount of calories that you need to maintain your body weight. So the amount of energy that your body uses on a daily or weekly, monthly basis. So your body weight will stay the same if you're in calorie maintenance. And a calorie deficit is where you're eating less calories than your body needs on a daily basis, okay? So your body's using all this energy, you're not feeding it as much, so the body weight is going to come down then, okay? So that's where you're going to be losing some body weight. So how many do you need? Before we get into that, it's going to be different for everybody, okay? And it comes down to a couple of different things that are quite important to know, okay? Hold on, there's Orla just landed in there as well. So BMR, okay, is your basal metabolic rate, okay? Basically, if you were to lie in your bed and sit and do nothing all day, other than breathe and think and all those kinds of things, your body uses calories to do that, okay? So to function, to pump blood around you, to think, to be, you know, looking about, all those kinds of things. That's what your BMR is. So that is, if you're lying in your bed doing nothing, that is the amount of calories that you need to just do that, okay? That uses up the most calories on a daily basis, okay? I think it's around about 70%. Yeah, around about 70% of the calories that you need in a day is just to cover all of that, okay? The next one then is NEAT. So non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Basically, it's all the things that you do on a daily basis. So see the way that I'm talking, my hands are moving here. I could be fidgeting at my desk. I could be walking up and down the stairs instead of taking the elevator, cleaning the house, all those kinds of things. Things that aren't planned exercise that you do that are movement all come under this NEAT, okay? This is the next biggest in terms of calorie use, okay? So BMR, then we've got NEAT, okay? The other kind of movement then is obviously EAT, okay? So this is our planned exercises. This is whenever we go for a run, we go for a jog, we go to the gym, we do burpees in the living room, whatever, okay? This is some planned exercise. And out of the three of those, the exercise is actually the lowest calorie burner or calorie user out of those, okay? So it kind of just shows you, in terms of activity, what the biggest bang for your buck is, you know, the bodily functions. Then we've got all the walking, and that's probably why you know, if you've got a coach or whatever, your coach is probably telling you about, you know, step counts and all these kinds of things, and trying to get up and moving and all those kinds of different things to keep you more active during the day, rather than just relying on hitting a workout, okay? Because there's a lot more to it than just the workouts, okay? Yes, the workouts are important. They're going to help you with overall fitness. They're going to help you with strength. They're going to help you with, you know, maintaining muscle mass and all this kind of stuff. But, you know, all the things that go on in the background on a daily basis, all the wee bits of activity that you do, walking up and down to the shop instead of getting in the car to go to the shop, walking up and down the stairs, all that kind of stuff, it is all very, very important, because they are using more energy and more calories than if you were to just rely on your workout. Okay. So this is where it gets very boring. I'm going to be straight up and honest with you. Okay. So you're talking about calories and your BMR and stuff, and figuring out what your BMR is, because it's the biggest calorie burner and all that kind of stuff. These are a couple of equations. You can take them down, or you can, you know, take a photo of it if you want to. I've got an example on the next page just to show actual numbers, okay? So bear in mind, this is just the calories required to lie in bed and do fuck all other than breathe and all those kinds of things. So the first example is a meal, and I know this meal very well because it's me. These are my details that I've put in just to show you. So 66 plus 13.7 times your weight in kilograms. So I'm 105 kilograms. That number then works out at around 1,438.5. Okay. Then we're going to add that by 5 times my height in centimeters. So I am roughly around 175 centimeters. We do that equation and it gives us 875. And then minus, we're going 6.8 times 31. And that's your age in years. So I'm 31, although I look 25. So that brings you to 210.8. So we do all that maths, 66 plus 1,438.5 plus 875 minus 210.8, and we get 2,168.7. That is kind of like a base point, somewhere to start from for BMR. Okay. And then below we have a random female. Okay. Don't know, just made up these numbers to put them in there. 90 kilo female, 5'2", is about 157 centimeters and 22 years old. So we do all those numbers, we get the same sort of, the equation is different. So we've got 655.1 plus weight in kilos times 9.6 gives you that number underneath. 8.1 times the height in centimeters, which is 282.6. And then we minus 4.7 times our age in years. Okay. That brings all those numbers added together, and then that minus 103.4 is 1,698.3. And that again is just BMR. That is just lying in the bed doing nothing other than breathing bodily functions. That's how many calories that person roughly probably needs for that. Okay. So then we have to take into consideration that we are not all just lying in bed doing nothing all day. We have activity. We, go to the shops, buy food, we, exercise and all these kind of things. So we need to take that into consideration also. So we're going to add in some more calories. This is where we think about how active we are on a daily basis. So we're either sedentary, lightly active, moderately active, very active, and that is down to, what kind of job you have. So if someone, is an office worker sitting most of the day, not very active, we're going to be going towards that sedentary or lightly active side of the scale. If someone is, working on a building site or one of these kind of jobs, a heavy manual labor type thing, where they're up on their feet all day and, moving things about, you're going to be going towards that very active, the extra active type range. Okay. And depending on that, you're going to multiply your BMR by one of these numbers. Okay. So lightly active, sedentary, it goes from multiplying it by 1.2 all the way down to extra active where it's 1.9. So if we were to take my example of my BMR, which was 2,168.7, multiply that by the 1.375, which is lightly active, 2,981.9 calories is my maintenance, roughly. Okay, this is all, again, it's going to be different from person to person, but it's a good starting point to go with. Okay, so for me to maintain my weight now, that is the kind of number that I'm looking to be hitting for calories on a daily basis. Okay, so if I want to gain some more weight, then I've obviously got to eat more than those calories. If I want to lose some weight, I got to eat less than that. Okay, and how much you eat more or eat less kind of depends on the person. It depends on how aggressively you're going to diet, or how long you're going to be dieting for, or trying to gain weight for. If it's short term, you could probably afford to go a wee bit more aggressive. It's going to be more long term and more sustainable type way, which is kind of what we would, endorse. You're going to be going, I would say, around about 200 to 300 calories off your maintenance. Okay, 200 or 300 calories off your maintenance isn't going to be something that is going to have you sitting starving at the end of every single day. Long term, you're going to be assessing it anyway, so you're going to be seeing how the weight is coming off or whatever. So I would say 200 to 300 calories is probably a good kind of range that you want to be looking at if you're looking for losing weight. For gaining weight, probably in and around 100, 200 on top of your maintenance calories for gaining a bit of weight, because you want to make sure that the weight that you're putting on is some good quality. Okay, it's not a case of just adding a load of calories on and banking on a load more body fat. You want to be trying to, if you're trying to gain weight, I'm going to assume that it's probably going to be muscle mass that you want to be putting onto your body. Okay, so with the strength training and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be very important to make sure that that's kind of a gradual type thing, that you're not just piling on body fat. Does that make sense so far? Yeah. All good?
Yep.
Good stuff. Right, so if you can't be bothered doing all that maths, I'm going to put a link into the chat box, okay? I can send it out into the groups and stuff as well. There's loads of calorie calculators out there. We have one on the Hybrid membership site as well. Just bear in mind that a lot of them will bring you up maintenance calories, okay? So they're going to ask you things like your age and your height and your weight and all those kinds of stuff. It's going to ask you about your activity levels. It's going to ask you to put all those details in, and it's going to spit a number out at you. And the first thing that most people will probably do is go, wow, that's far too much. That is far too many calories. There's no chance in hell I'm eating that, and freak the fuck out. That's the maintenance calories that it's going to spit out at you. Okay, so if the goal is to lose some weight, like I said, you're going to be taking that maintenance number and you're going to take away maybe like 200, 300 calories. If you're trying to gain some weight, you're going to be maybe putting on about 100 calories on top of that number that it spits back out at you. Does that make sense as well? All good?
Yep.
Right, so a couple of things. We're going to go on to MyFitnessPal because I'm not going to calculate everybody's calories here because you've just seen all the shit that goes on in the background of it, okay? And it's all very, very individual. So again, at the end of this, you're going to get the link and stuff sent out where you can go into that calorie calculator. You can do all that yourself. I'm just going to show you how to use MyFitnessPal now, okay? Again, like I said, it can be quite confusing for people if you've never used it before. So if you have your phone beside you with MyFitnessPal open, I'm going to share my screen from my phone so that we can see what I'm doing on my phone at the same time as me talking, if that makes sense. A wee notepad and pen would probably be good here as well. Okay, so if you just bear with me a wee second, I want to get rid of this. Close that down. Now, can everybody see this?
Yep.
Yep, okay. So I'm hoping that I don't get any dirty text messages or anything because it'll all pop up along the top of my phone here. I've got it on airplane mode, but I've got to have the Wi-Fi on as well, otherwise I can't get on the app. So a couple of things that we're going to go through here. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about how and when to weigh your food, okay? Sounds very, very obvious and very, very simple and boring. But it is what it is, and we got to do it. So if you haven't already, you're going to need something like this, a digital kitchen scale, okay? Like I said before at the start of the call, people will just type in chicken breast and the automatic kind of serving size that will probably come up is 100 grams. And people will put that in whenever they're just having chicken, and it might be 150 grams and they haven't a clue. So they're overeating and don't even realize it, okay? With a set of digital kitchen scales, it is going to be probably more accurate than I think analog. You can get some really good quality analog ones, but I just prefer the digital ones. You are probably going to need some sort of a container so that you can obviously set it on top of the scales and put whatever you're going to be putting in there, and some sort of a spoon, okay? Because actually, you know those what do you call them? It's like cup servings and half cups and half teaspoons and all those kind of things. I think you can get those in like B&M or like Poundland and stuff. They're actually really good because what looks like a teaspoon to you might look like a tablespoon to somebody else. Okay, especially whenever it comes to raiding the cupboard and getting stuck into the peanut butter. And that's one of the ones that's very, very easy to overconsume on because it's higher in calories, being a fat. So some sort of a spoon, maybe a tablespoon or those teaspoon serving things, that'll probably be a good investment for you as well. So I'm going to talk to you about, first thing we'll go with is our protein sources. Okay. Protein, you can do it one of either ways. Okay. You can either weigh it cooked, or you can weigh it before you've cooked it. I prefer to weigh it after it's been cooked. Okay. And that is down to me. It doesn't matter. Like if you want to do it whenever it's raw weight, you can do that by all means. I prefer to do it because with the likes of chicken and beef and all those kinds of things, juices come out of it. So whenever it's finished cooking, it's later. Sorry, wee second, guys. Oliver's giving me a wee call here. 2 wee seconds. Hello, sorry about that. So, like I was saying, with the likes of chicken and turkey and beef and all those kind of things, whenever they've been in the oven or they've been fried off or whatever, juices come out of them, and I prefer to just take that weight rather than going for raw weight. Okay, so as long as you stick to whatever version you're going for, it's going to stay more accurate. Okay, if you take cooked weight one day and then take raw weight the next day, it's going to be completely different. So pick one of those and go with it. Okay, does that make sense? Good stuff.
Yeah.
With carb sources, so things like rice and pasta, potatoes, all those kind of things, I would take their dry weight. So if it's rice, I would weigh it before cooking it. If it's potatoes, if you're going to peel them, I would peel them and then weigh them, because remember, you know, when you peel, you're going to be taking off weight. So you're going to peel, weigh, and then boil, because a lot of those kind of carb sources are going to be taking on water. They're going to do the opposite to the proteins. Protein loses the fluid that's in it, and rice, pasta, spuds, all those kinds of things, they usually draw the water into them when they're cooking. So let's say you have 100 grams of dry rice. After you cook it, it might come out and it might be 200 grams or 250 grams. It's going to be heavier because it's got the water in it. So again, if you're going day to day, you go track it one day where it's dry and track it the next day, and it's, you know, after it's been cooked, you're going to have two completely different readings there. That makes sense?
Yep.
The fats, yep. Okay, so if we're talking about things like oil and butter and peanut butter, kind of things that we're going to be cooking those meats in. I don't know why that disappeared there. Doesn't matter anyway. So with those kind of things that you're probably either going to need to scoop out with a spoon or you're going to drizzle on and stuff, that's where the teaspoons come in handy. Okay, I'll show you a wee trick. Okay, so with your scales, you're going to turn them on, and then what you're going to do is you're going to set the teaspoon on it. That is a 17-gram teaspoon, and then I'm going to press the button to set it to 0 again. Okay, so when I take the spoon off, it's minus 17. Okay, so it's taking away the weight of the spoon, and this is where I go into the cupboard and get the peanut butter out and scoop it onto the spoon now, so that when I put that spoon back onto the scale, it's only weighing the peanut butter. Does that make sense? Yeah, because you're taking away the weight of the actual spoon. Okay, so it's not like we're going setting it to 0, scooping out the peanut butter and setting it on. The next thing, that's 45 grams, because it's, you know, 20 grams of peanut butter plus 20 grams of the spoon. You're going to have a more accurate reading there if you just set that to 0, take it off, scoop it out, and then put it on. Same goes with the likes of butter and those kind of oils. Very easy to over drizzle. So I would recommend those teaspoon or tablespoon measuring cups instead of using one of these types of teaspoons. Okay, something that you can top up and you know that that's a teaspoon, because no more will fit in it. that make sense? Good stuff. So carbs, done, dried and cooked. Yes, all good. Right. Is there any questions about any of those ways of measuring things out or weighing things before we move on? No? All good, all good. Right. Again, screen, start now. Right, so the first thing that we're going to do, obviously you're going to be going away and using that calorie calculator, and it's going to spit a number out at you. You're going to take off a couple of calories, or you're going to add a couple of calories depending on your goal. But then when you go on to MyFitnessPal, you need to make sure that all those details are in there as well. MyFitnessPal, whenever you set it up the first time, it'll ask you all those questions, and again, it'll spit out a number to you. And I've found that in the past, it's very unreliable, okay? It's very generalized. It usually gives you very, very low amount of calories, okay? And as was seen from the wee equation that we've done, for BMR, for the female was what, like 1,600 calories. So that's lying in bed doing nothing. And then, you know, people are eating way, way less than that. I think it's probably not a great idea. So we want to make sure that the calories in there are right and not just the ones that MyFitnessPal is going to spit out at us. We're going to use that calorie. We're going to take that information and then put it into MyFitnessPal, okay? So in the top left-hand corner here, I'm going to hold that. Hopefully, yes, it does highlight. I'm a genius. So hold it here, okay? The menu button is in the top left-hand side. We're going to open that menu. We're going to go down to goals, okay? Okay, and this is where all the information kind of is, where your current weight and, you know, weekly goal and all that kind of stuff. For that, I would say do not go any more than losing 1 pound a week. Okay, so 0.5 or 1 point or 1 pound if you're trying to lose some weight, and again, probably about 0.5 if you're trying to gain some weight. Okay, but we're going to change the calories and the carbs and the fats and all that kind of stuff now. So to do that, we're going to go to where it says nutrition goals there. We're going to go to calories, carbs, proteins, and fat goals. You're going to click on that and it will bring up this page, okay? So from here, if we click on the calories at the top where it says, what, 2020, okay? I'm going to click on that, and whatever number that calculator gives you out, you are going to either take away calories or increase the calories or keep them exactly where they are if the goal is to maintain. And this is where you put it in there. So just let's say it comes out and it's giving me 2,500 calories from that calorie calculator. So we'll put it in there and we'll hit the save button. Okay, so you can see that the numbers change there at the top. Now, along with that, the carbohydrates, the proteins, and the grams of fat, they will all change as well, okay? Now, unless you're paying for the app, likelihood is that you're not going to get the exact number. Okay, so let's say that your coach says, I want you to try and hit 132 grams of protein. Okay, you're probably not going to get that, but what you're going to do is you're going to click on it and it's going to open up this wheel. And what we're going to do is we're going to move these numbers up and down. It's kind of just like a wee wheel for each of these, okay? And I want you to just play around with those and try and get it as close to that number as possible. So we can see if the goal was 130 grams of protein per day, you've either got 20% there that's bringing up 125 grams, or if you go and raise that 25 grams, it's bringing it all the way up to 156. So it's probably better to pull that down to the 20 and just go a wee bit over your protein for each day. Is that making sense? Oh, good. So where's my wee notebook I had sitting here? Right, for protein. Right, I probably should say this first of all. Okay, so calories, regardless of what macronutrients you're eating, no matter what breakdown, whether it's all carbs or, you know, high fat, low protein, low carbs, whatever, calories are going to be king in the equation. Okay, they're going to be the most important thing, whether it is to gain weight or to lose weight or to stay the same weight that you are. Okay. because we're all here on this call from the gym, obviously we're all going to be training resistance and weights and, you know, trying to maintain muscle mass. This is where protein becomes a very, very close, important second. Okay. So none of the macronutrients are more important to each other. They just all have different roles. And protein is going to be one of the main ones for us being training, especially with weights. It's also going to be helpful when it comes to keeping us full because it's very satiating, which is great, especially if you're trying to lose some weight because you want to be eating foods that, you know, keep you feeling full and you're not feeling hungry for the rest of the day. So it's going to be very important there. So what I would do is take your goal body weight and find it in pounds. Okay. So let's say, for example, you know, someone's goal is to be, you know, 200 pounds. You multiply that 200 by 0.8. Okay. 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. Okay. And the idea is, like, let's say the person's 250 pounds. Okay. They want to lose 50 pounds. So they don't need to eat that protein for the extra 50 pounds that they're planning on losing. Does that make sense? So what we're going to do is we're going to take our goal weight, which is the 200 pounds, and we're going to multiply that by the 0.8. Okay. Because that's what we're going to try and maintain. And that's what we're going to try and keep, the 200 pounds. Multiply that by 0.8 and it works out at 160 grams. So that's just an example. So 160, that person would take 160 grams of protein a day. They would be more on that side of the scale of 25% for protein. So if you want to figure out your protein, you find your body weight, or your goal body weight, sorry, in pounds, and you multiply that by 0.8. Okay, and then that's where you go into these wee wheels and you find in the closest number. So let's say it comes up and your goal is to eat 180 grams, whatever body weight you've put in, find it there, 30%. And then the lovely thing is here, carbs and fats can be whatever you like after that. Okay, it is down to personal preference, in my opinion, for whatever the rest of your calories are made up of. Whether it is you prefer to do keto, I don't mind. If you prefer to eat loads of carbs, you can fill up on the carbs. But I would say that you do need to have some fats in there, so don't be going ridiculously low in fats. Very, very important for cognitive function and bodily functions, and there's essential fatty acids that we need in our body. So I would say do not just go all the way down there and just fill up on carbs, because carbs are brilliant and pizza's class. Okay, so have fats in there. Okay, again, I like to have some sort of a balance. So usually I would go in and around there. Okay, so around about 30% or so, just depends on the numbers. Okay, it's going to be different for different people. Some people like more fats and less carbs. Some people are the other way around, so it doesn't really matter too much. Okay.
Sorry, can I just ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is where I get really, really confused. So I just say have, for example, 3 pasta meals within a day, but it's all within my calories. And then I think and go, oh my God, that's so much carbs. Does that essentially matter with weight loss?
With weight loss, no. Yeah. With weight loss, it's going to be calories is going to be the main thing. Okay. You want to make sure, because you're training and stuff, that you're getting enough protein in there. So if you're just eating all carbs and stuff, then it's going to have an effect that way. If you're under on your calories and you're under on your protein, chances are any weight that's going to be lost is probably going to be coming from muscle mass there. Okay, rather than body fat. Okay. Or maybe not even that, maybe not that aggressive way to put it, but you're going to be risking losing more muscle mass from not having protein in there. Okay, because that's going to be the building blocks for muscle mass. Okay, keeping those amino acids in there.
So essentially you should be looking every day at your calorie goal and your protein goal then?
Yep. So that's what I'm saying. They're very, very close there. So calories, obviously, if the goal is to lose some weight, calories is going to be the number one thing. Number two thing is making sure that you're hitting the protein. They're very, very close. I don't want to say one is more, the calories is the most important thing there, but protein's not about the arse off it. Okay. So once we've found out the goal body weight and the goal protein and stuff, we adjust those wee wheels. Like I said, it's going to be different for everybody. We hit this little tick up in the right-hand corner, and that is going to save. Okay. Ta-da! Boom. So we have updated our calories, and we've updated the percentages and grams of each of the macronutrients that we're going to have on a daily basis. Okay. Everybody all good with that? Yes?
Yep.
Good stuff. So that is all well and good. Let's go to the diary. Okay, all well and good. I hate those adverts because I'm just a fiend for shoes, and every time I see it, I go, oh, new colors. So now we have to start putting some food in there. I suppose that's one of the most obvious things, okay? But I'm going to go through, there's two ways of doing this. We can use an inbuilt barcode scanner that is on the app, as long as you give the app permission to access your camera on your phone. And there is a search bar where you can search for the foods that you're looking for, okay? So to do that, let's say I've got some random bits and pieces here just so we can do. I've got rice, I've got peanut butter, and I've got eggs. So we're going to have some really weird fucking meals here today, okay? But it's all just for examples. Obviously, you're going to be using this with chicken or, you know, tofu and all those kinds of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to go add food. We're going to click on this button here, and it's going to open up this, okay? We can use the barcode scanner by clicking the logo up on the top right beside the search bar, okay? So we click on that. Here we go. Don't be judging my messy house now, okay? Because this is my camera. Look at this all looking lovely. Hello. Okay, so this opens up. We're going to take our rice or whatever it is that we're eating, and we are going to scan it. Give it a wee second to load. Boom. How spot on is that? Okay, so it brings up the item food that we're looking for. So here it's going to say cooked. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to weigh this, okay? Because the information that is on the back of the packet, if we open it up, for 100 grams, 155 calories here, okay? I mean, you can't see it there, but it says 155 calories on the back of that. And you can see here that the serving size is 100 grams. Okay, so it's the same reading there. We are just going to weigh that on the scales. So we take our bowl, put it onto the scale, okay? And again, similar to the spoon, we set it to 0. And then we start pouring the rice into it until it comes up and says 100 grams or whatever the serving size is that you're taking, okay? Let's say you have 83 grams of rice, you absolute fiend, okay, of a person not having a rounded number like a normal person. Here's how you change the serving size, okay? So you click on the 100 grams, and you can either be a real smart person and go a serving size. I had 0.83 of a serving, okay, because one serving size is 100 grams. Or you just do what I do because I'm very silly most of the time, and I just change the serving size to 1 gram. And it sounds so much more satisfying when you say you've had 83 servings. Oh my God, I've had 83 servings of rice. That just sounds so much better than going, I had 0.83 of a serving. Okay. So let's say you had 352. Again, 1 gram, 352. There we go. And just to show you that that's the same regardless, I'll just put in I had 100 servings there, and it was that 155 that we were looking at. Okay. Is that making sense? Just in case we pour out an uneven amount. Okay. Whenever you've got your item of food all tracked and the serving is correct and weighed on your scale accurately, you're going to hit the wee tick up in the top right hand side, and it's going to add it. Boom. And you can see there, so back out, my calorie goal there at the top. Yes, Paul, take it easy, mate. We have 2,500 calories there as the goal. I put in 100 grams of that rice, which takes away the 155 from food. Ignore the exercise thing. That's another thing. If anyone's got their step counters or their Fitbits or anything connected to MyFitnessPal, I would probably recommend taking that off. Get rid of it. Okay. It's going to take off calories and stuff. I don't want to be using MyFitnessPal for anything other than figuring out what it is that I'm putting into my body, not what my Fitbit is estimating that I'm burning. Okay. I'm trying to eat that back. Okay. So I would take that off MyFitnessPal and just use it as the tool that it's designed for and use it as a calorie counter. Okay. I should have probably said that. Naughty, bold. Okay. So it's going to give you an amount of calories at the end of that. The other way of doing it then is, let's say you have a phone that doesn't have a camera, or the camera's broke or something, I don't know. You want to search it in instead. You need to be as detailed as you possibly can. So we'll try and find the same item here. The Growers Harvest. Okay, so I'm going to type in here on the top, the Growers Harvest long grain rice. No. Second. It's not giving me enough characters, so long grain. Okay. So the good thing is here, there's a couple of different options that we'll have. Obviously, you know, the top one there looks like it's the right one, but remember we said that 100 grams was 155 calories. So that's slightly under. So it may not necessarily be the first thing that you see that comes up. What you should probably do is, like I said, on the nutritional advice on the side of the packet, compare there. Okay. So we can see that the third one down here is the 155 for 100 grams. Click onto that. Boom, we can add that by clicking on the wee tick in the top right-hand corner. Is that making sense? Is that good? Good stuff. So whenever we're searching for certain things, just don't assume that it's going to be the first result that comes up here, okay? So let's say we go with as the beef 5%. Okay. You can see there's a couple of different options, okay? And they've all got different calories that are down the side there. That's where you're going to be using the side of that packet or the back of that packet to be comparing here, okay? And again, that's where it's going to be important there, because you don't want to be picking something that is lower calories and then you're overeating and you're tracking and you're like, why? Because you've just picked the wrong option. You don't want to be over or under eating because of that, okay? So any questions on inputting any food or anything like that? No. Comes the eggs as well. Like, so people have asked me before, you know, like about, you know, things like eggs or things that are one packet or whatever, and it says, you know, how many grams is an egg or whatever. Usually whenever you scan those barcodes, it comes up, you know, one large egg or whatever, and then the serving size is how many eggs that you had. Okay, so you're just going to change it that way.
Stevie, see vegetables, that's one I always find really hard to input because there's nothing to scan. So, and then there's such a wide range of options. So like say like a dinner for me might be salmon with a pile of roasted veg. Like it's carrots and broccoli and courgettes or whatever.
So then what you're going to do is you're going to go to your search bar, and let's say we type in, let's rethink, get that out of the road. Sorry, that's the share bar. Carrots. Okay. Do the carrots come in a bag or do you just buy them loose?
Loose most of the time, yeah.
Okay. So what you're going to do there is you're going to just type in carrots. Okay. Let me see if we pick on this one here. Yeah. So here's another thing. We're going one large, one medium, one small. That's all very vague. You know, what's a large carrot or what's a small carrot or whatever. So you want to be looking for something that has as close a way of transferring the serving size over. Okay, so if we go back, there are steamed carrots. We haven't steamed them yet because we're weighing them beforehand. So let's go with something that probably has like 50 grams. There we go. There's one with 50 grams. Okay. Carrots. I mean, there's not really a hell of a lot in there, you know, in terms of protein or carbs or anything like that. What we're going to be able to do is go and change that serving size again to the 1 gram. and then we're going to weigh the carrot. Okay, so if it comes loose, it doesn't really matter. We're going to be able to find that. So
Yeah.
you go on there and we'll say we had 53 grams of that. The calories will come up. I mean, no one's really eating carrots for the carb source or for the protein and stuff in there anyway. You're eating it because it's a vegetable and it's good for you, and you're an adult and you're a good person and all. So if you want to do it just for the calories, then you just do it that way. Just try and find something as close to as possible. Something that you're going to be able to, because a lot of it will be like, like broccoli, 1 cup. I mean, you could get a cup serving and do that, but I'll be shoving as much broccoli in there as I can compared to someone who might try and get 1 or 2 florets in there. So I would just look for something that says broccoli, 100 grams, change the serving size, and use your scales to do that.
So just don't stress too much about it.
I wouldn't stress a hell of a lot about it, to be honest with you. I mean, no one went over or under their calories, or no one went over their calories because they had too much broccoli.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean?
No, totally.
If you're going over your calories because you had two extra bits of broccoli, I mean, there's something else that could probably come out instead of the broccoli.
Yeah, fair enough.
Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Right. So let's say you have the same thing every day. Okay. So let's say you're someone who, goes to work and always has the same breakfast, and you're like, I can't be annoyed scanning this every single day. It's always porridge and it's always, the same amount of almond milk, and I have whatever in it. Okay. What we can do is we can make things a hell of a lot easier, and we can save a recipe. Okay. So saving it as a regular meal makes it a hell of a lot quicker. So I'm going to use the lunch tab for this one. Let's say I search in oats. Okay. So these are the oats that I'd be using. And let's say I have 50 grams of them. We'll add that. And then almond milk is what I've been having. There we go. So 200 milliliters of almond milk. And that's measured out in like a measuring jug or something like that. Let's say this is my breakfast every single day. And I'm like, I can't be annoyed using the barcode all the time just for the same breakfast over and over again. What we're going to do here is in the bottom right-hand side, you see these 3 dots. Click on that. And then what you're going to be able to do is you're going to save a meal. Okay. So you save meal, tells you the total amount of calories, the total amount of carbs, proteins, fats. And let's say oats and almond milk, we'll call it. Okay. And you can take a photo of it if you want to there, if you're that way inclined. Okay. So that has been saved as a meal. So we'll flick across because tomorrow is a new day and it's a new diary, but I have the same breakfast. I can go to add food. And then along the top here, you'll see recipes. Click on that. Boom. There's a couple of my recipes. Actually, sorry, should be meals. Sorry, meals. So if you're saving a meal, obviously it goes into meals. Oats and almond milk. Click on that. And then click on the wee tick. And it adds it just like that. Okay, so whenever it comes to using MyFitnessPal, it can be a wee bit annoying to begin with. But the more that you track and the more things that you input, they're already sitting there. You'll see if I go to add food, the whole big list of stuff that I've been searching here the last wee while, or the last couple of things that I've been eating in there. Okay. So it could even be just a case of going, had the exact same thing a couple of days ago, scroll down through that list, find it, and just change the serving size depending on what you've had. Is that cool? Right. So the next thing then that I want to talk to you about, I'm going to delete this just to get a new diary up there. Let's say we're doing meal prep. Okay, this is one of the main things that people say is, how do you figure out how much is in a serving? If I've done like a big pot, like I'm one of these kinds of people who will make a massive big pot of chili con carne or chicken curry or one of these kinds of things. And then at the end of it, you're like, right, well, how the hell do I track this? Because I don't know how many grams of chicken is in this serving, or I don't know how many, bits of pepper are in this bit of the chili, or how many kidney beans I have in it and stuff. And I'm not fucking hoping about my food to figure that out. You can go super detailed with it, and you can break it down bit by bit, cook things individually, and then construct it at the end. But let's be honest, who wants to do that? Okay, you're going to make a big pot of it, and you're going to put it in the Tupperware. So what we're going to do is, again, I've only got a couple of wee things with me. I'm just going to do it very quickly. I'm going to add the food. Okay, I'm going to go to, sorry, go to our diary. Create up in the top right hand side. Okay, the add button, create, and then create a recipe. Okay, the last one was a meal. This one's going to be a recipe. Okay, so we're going to click on that, and we're going to enter the ingredients manually. Okay, so what am I going to call this? This is rice, peanut butter, and eggs. Can't wait. Okay, so here is where it's very important. Okay, before we've even made this, we're going to need to figure out how many servings this is going to do. Okay, so let's say you have 4 Tupperwares out, and you're going to say, this is going to do me my lunches for the next 4 days. So you're going to change the serving size to 4. Okay, it can't be anything. It can be, it's going to be my breakfast for the next 3 days, or it's going to be my dinner for the next 2 days, or whatever. Okay, the amount of servings that you're going to distribute this over is going to be very important. Okay, so number 4 in there, and then we hit next, and then we're going to start adding the ingredients. So we hit the button to add the ingredients, and again we have the search bar here, or we have the barcode scanner. I'm going to go barcode scanner just for speed. Boom, there's the rice. I'm going to have over 4 meals. There is 500 grams of rice there. Okay, save. Okay, so 775 calories. We're going to add that. Then what we're going to do is, again, up in the top right hand side, we're going to add another ingredient because we're not done yet. You can imagine that this is like a chicken curry, so we're going to be scanning our chicken. We're going to be scanning the weight of the peppers and all these kinds of things. Okay, we're going to use the barcode scanner. I'm going to scan the peanut butter because that's going to go in next to our big pot. And yep, we're going to have 100 grams of peanut butter in there, again, across 4 meals. We're going to hit the tick. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to scan, and we are going to add our eggs. Okay. So this is 1 egg. We are going to say, let's put in 3 eggs. Okay. Over 4 meals. Save.
May I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
How do you decide the amount? Based on what? I don't have this, skills. I don't know. I could put 600 grams of rice instead of 500. It's probably wrong. So
no, it's completely up to you. It depends on what it is that you're making. So you're just following the recipe. So, it could be a case where you're making something that uses a tin of chopped tomatoes. So you're going to scan the chopped tomatoes, and you're going to say, I put the whole can in there. So I'm going to have 500 grams of chopped tomatoes. Then I'm going to chop up my chicken, and I'm going to put it in, and there was 400 grams of chicken in that. Okay, you're just going to be measuring things as you go along. Okay, just as you're cooking
based on my goal, like the amount of calories that I should eat after that number. Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to be making sure that you're within your calories overall. Okay. Obviously, if you start going over your calories and stuff, you're going to need to make adjustments to the measurements that you're putting into the food. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
So these are all the ingredients that we are having. You can notice at the top there, 4 servings, 407 calories per serving. Okay, that's where that's going to divide that by 4. So all of these calories divided by 4, we're going to hit next. Okay. And you can see here that it actually breaks down everything that's in that recipe. It shows you all the carbs per serving, fats, proteins, calories per serving. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to hit save. Boom. Okay. And then at the bottom, you're going to hit add to diary. Okay. So you had one serving of it. Hit the tick and it adds it to your diary. Okay. So that is probably going to be the easiest, accurate way to track something that you've meal prepped in like a big one pot wonder type thing. If people are like, well, how do I know that I'm getting an equal amount of carbs or an equal amount of, if you're just scooping it out and putting it into the container that fits, as long as you eat all 4 portions of it, it's going to average out. Okay. So if it's your lunch over the next 4 days, you're going to, whether one is bigger than another one or whether one has more chicken in it than the other one or whatever, as long as you eat the whole thing, it's going to average out anyway. Okay. Does that make sense? Good. Right. And then what we're going to do is sometimes I have asked clients in the past to send me their protein, carbs, fats, and calorie numbers at the end of the day. Again, it's just whenever a coach comes on, and you can add friends and stuff on this, they can see your diary, but they can't necessarily see how many grams of protein that you've had or how many grams of carbs that you've had or these kinds of things. So sometimes I've asked people to send me a screenshot of their numbers at the end of the day to show me. To check, what you're going to do is there's a wee pie chart up on the top right hand side here. Nutrition. You're going to click on that. And I think it automatically brings you to here. I think it automatically brings you to the calories tab. Okay. Along the top here, it says calories, nutrients, and macros. What we're more looking for is the nutrients. Okay. Especially whenever you're checking through the day. So let's say you're out and about, you're on the go, and you've been scanning bits and pieces that you've picked up in the shops, and you get home and you're like, right, how many calories have I got left? You can see that from your diary. I've got 700 calories left. Okay. Have a wee look at your nutrients and you go, right, in that 700 calories, I've got to hit these goals. Okay. So you can see here the protein there. I have 23 grams eaten already. That's the total for the day. My goal is 206 grams. So I have 183 grams of protein to try and eat for the rest of this day. So I have to try and hit those goals with the remaining calories. Does that make sense? So this could be a good way for whenever you're meal prepping to go in and have a look at it and start putting these foods in ahead of time so that you can say, right, okay, if I have that much food, how many calories does that equal? And of all that food, what does that make my carbs and my proteins and my fats look like? Okay, well, actually, the carbs are a little bit high there. So maybe I'll take out a wee bit of rice from that recipe and I'll put in more chicken, or I'll put in more beef, or I'll put in more tofu or eggs or whatever. And you can start tracking things ahead of time. Okay, does that make sense? It's going to be good for having a look at that to make sure that you're not just concentrating, like Christina was talking about, not just concentrating on the calories. Okay, obviously that is one of the goals, but we're all training here. We want to make sure that we're eating the protein to make sure that we are maintaining our muscle mass. Okay, because the last thing we want to do is be going into the gym or training with weights and stuff, battering the muscles and not giving them a chance to recover, because that's basically the role of protein. Okay, to help aid recovery and repair. Oh, I hear a monster running up the stairs. Give me a wee second here, guys. Okay, 2 seconds. Okay, so is there any questions about MyFitnessPal? Is there anything that it didn't go through that you might have been hoping that it did go through or would have went through? Was that even English? No? Is there anyone with any questions?
Evo, can I ask a quick question?
Yes, Emma, go ahead.
Are you using premium?
No, this is all free. I haven't paid for the app.
Yeah, yours looks a wee bit different than mine. That's why I was just like.
Is it because my diary is set up breakfast, lunch, and dinner and stuff?
No, mine's is the same, but like I'm just looking at you going in that wee swivel thing and all. I don't have none of that.
Yeah, mine was the same actually.
Is yours the same as mine?
Yeah, but I just went
I think this
nosy
is an
and it's not-
iPhone versus Android thing.
Oh, that could be it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I'm on a Samsung here, so it might be
That's
a wee bit
why.
different on iPhone.
Yeah, dead on
I mean,
this. But yes, I found it.
The menus shouldn't be too different, okay? But the headings and stuff should be there. You know, if it's in a different place or whatever, they're the same headings that you're looking for, and you know, flipping those details. Is that what you were talking about? The protein and carbs and stuff, that wee swivel?
Yes, I can find that. I was able to go in and fix that, but it was where you were looking at the macronutrients and it was giving you a breakdown of the day and stuff. I think I've just found it there now. I'm just
Okay. Another way to do it, if it's different, there is if you go to the menu and then nutrition is down this side here,
Yeah.
you know, just under goals, you can click on that. I mean, I'm not too sure what way this is going to look on an iPhone or whatever, but it should be something similar to this.
yes, that's exactly what way it is. It's just I've just found it.
Spot on. Spot on.
Cheers, thank you.
No bother. Is there anything else? Anyone any questions before we move on here?
Just a quick question, Steve.
Yes, Nuala.
See, you were saying about the one pot wonder there,
Yes.
you know, and splitting it into four.
Yes.
Well, if I was making something like that, but I wasn't eating it all myself, other people in the house were.
Yeah.
And I'd weigh that before I eat it, or how, you know?
No, so again, you're going to put everything in the same way.
Just make sure everybody gets an equal portion.
You're just going to need to eyeball that. Yeah, you're going to try and make the portions as similar as possible. So a way of doing that might be, so if you have like your big bowl of rice after it's being cooked, so you know that before it was cooked, it was 500 grams, let's say. After it's cooked, it's made heavier, okay? So it might be now 700 grams or whatever, but don't be worrying about what weight it is then. Weigh it afterwards and try and portion it out that way, so that each person's getting, you know, a similar portion size.
Thinking more like, say if I made a big pot of chili con carne, I tend to, when I'm finishing work, my daughter's on her way, so she's dishing her own out of it.
So yeah, so it'll be a case of the best thing to probably do there is to have the Tupperware and portion it out as it's made. So making the big pot, and then when the pot's made, and then portioning it out 6 times.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so that each of those portions are as equal as they possibly can be, and then putting it into the fridge. I mean, it just saves someone from pouring their own out and whatever, and it means that, you know, one portion isn't going to be, you know, massively different to another.
Yeah.
You've kind of made them up and set them into the fridge, and then you can just take a Tupperware out of the fridge and it's ready to go.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? We all good?
Yep.
All good. Good stuff. Right. I think that is it from MyFitnessPal. Trying to figure out how to get rid of the screen share here, guys. Cool. Am I away? Is everything off the screen now? We all good? Good stuff. Right. So we've talked about how to calculate our calories. We've talked about how to calculate how many grams of protein we should probably be consuming on a daily basis. We've talked about actually using the tool of MyFitnessPal in trying to be as accurate as possible. Now I want to talk to you about food, okay? Because it's one of the next things that people usually ask is, okay, you know, how many calories should I be eating? Okay, how much protein should I be eating? Okay, and then they go, right, now what do I eat? What food is that stuff going to be made up of? Okay. Obviously, we want to optimize our health, okay? So we want to be going for the options of food that are going to be more natural, okay, that are going to be giving us some health benefits, that are going to help us perform in the gym, because ultimately that's going to have a big effect on it. If we're eating crap all day, it doesn't matter whether it's in a surplus or a deficit or whatever, we're going to feel pretty shitty and our performance is probably going to drop. And the way that I kind of go with this is, imagine that I eat 100 calories worth of ice cream, okay? And then I eat 100 calories worth of broccoli, okay? I mean, in terms of a calorie perspective, 100 calories is 100 calories. But 100 calories worth of ice cream may fit onto the end of that spoon, if I'm lucky, okay? 100 calories worth of broccoli or chicken even, or rice or whatever is going to fill this bowl, and it's probably going to fill my stomach a hell of a lot more. So it's not even just in terms of health benefits, it's also going to be coming whenever we talk about the quantity of food. So if you're in a calorie deficit, trying to lose some weight, that's one of the reasons why we would suggest, pile up on the veggies, because there's huge amounts of veggies that you can have while keeping your calories relatively low. You're getting a lot of good fiber in there, you're getting a lot of good nutrients and all those kinds of things. Again, if we talk about it in terms of meat, okay, or your protein sources or stuff like that, if you have something that is like a plain raw chicken breast and you fry it or cook it or whatever, and then you have something that is like a battered or breaded or something along those lines, the calories in the breaded or battered food choice are going to be considerably higher, okay? They're going to be higher and they're probably not going to fill you up as much. So let's say that the battered or breaded option is 300 calories. If you put that side by side with the same or similar food type, so let's say it's a breaded chicken breast, 300 calories worth of breaded chicken breast versus 300 calories of non-breaded raw chicken breast, you're going to have more of the raw natural chicken breast than you will of the breaded one, okay? And with that as well, you're going to have more protein, you're going to hit your protein goals, you're going to be more satiated, all those kind of things. I mean, we've probably all been to McDonald's where you have a burger or something, and then 5 minutes later, you're like, I'm still fucking hungry. But the burger's, a couple hundred calories, doesn't fill a gap in your tooth. Okay, same sort of idea there. So I know that I've said the calories are king, okay? They are when it comes to losing weight or gaining weight or whatever. Because that example that I gave you, if I had 100 calories worth of ice cream and I had 100 calories worth of broccoli, like either way, whichever one of those I choose, I'm still going to lose weight because 100 calories is fucking nothing. Okay, so if I keep eating that, it doesn't matter what the calories are made of. I'm still in a calorie deficit. I'm going to lose weight. But I think we can all agree that eating 100 calories worth of ice cream is probably not a great idea when you compare it to eating something that's going to be nutritious. Okay. At the same time, I'm not here going to be a nutritional Nazi or, telling that if you eat a cookie, you're going to hell and absolutely shatter your dreams. That's not going to be the case, okay? So we're going to be talking about something that's the 80-20 rule. So if we think about 80% of your food choices coming from whole, natural, nutritious sources, so vegetables, rices, grains, your protein sources, whatever, and that is going to be the majority of your food. That is going to be the majority of the things that you eat to help you lose weight, gain weight, be healthy, maintain your weight, feel good, energy levels and all. Whenever you've had a salad, you just feel fucking class. And then sometimes you eat a chippy and just feel like dirt. You know what I mean? It's more than just the calories there. But at the same time, we all like to enjoy ourselves and we all like to have a beer once in a while, or we like to, have some, treats. Okay. So that's where that 20% comes in. Okay. If you want to think about it in terms of a pizza, if we slice the pizza up into 10 pieces, it means you have 2 slices. You don't eat the whole fucking pizza. Okay. You have 2 slices. You don't eat the whole pizza. Okay. Remember, it's 20%. It'll be for 20% of your day. It could be 20% of your week. It'll be 20% of your month. Whatever one you opt for, Just do not go overboard, because it is very, very easy to go over on calories, even on things that are healthy, or, you know, healthy, whatever way you want to call that, okay? Peanut butter is fucking good. It is considered a healthy food. It is very, very easy to eat a magnificent amount of calories from peanut butter. And it doesn't matter what it comes from. If you eat too many calories, you're eating too many calories. You're going to put on weight. If you're not eating enough calories, you're going to lose weight, okay? So bear that all in mind, guys, okay? I want to talk to you. Sorry, is there any questions about that? By the way, I hope that it didn't break new ground there. I hope people didn't just go, wow, I never realized this. What? I mean, I thought, you know, I would say that the majority of people kind of know that, and it's taken as, it's kind of taken as it is, as a given. Okay, we're all adults. We should all be eating like adults, even though we do like a treat now and again. But that's where that 20% comes in. Okay. The next thing then we're talking about is protein, supplements. Okay. Another thing is very often asked about supplements is, you know, what protein should I take, bro? Or should I be taking creatine, mate? What's you know, what's the best kind of pre-workout, man? Or whatever. Okay. I mean, the name of them should give you a clue. It's a supplement. Okay. It is not necessary to have protein powders. It is not necessary to have, you know, creatine or a pre-workout or anything. One of the best pre-workouts that you can get is a lovely, lovely, strong black coffee. Okay. And you know what else is really, really good pre-workout? A good night's sleep. Okay. Good night's sleep and a good strong coffee in the morning is a really, really great pre-workout. It doesn't give you the jitters. Doesn't make you go, what is going on? Start freaking out in the middle of a workout, wondering why your heart's near in your throat. Okay. So anything, regardless of what I'm saying right now, is all supplements. It's not necessary. All of these things can be achieved by, you know, your eating. It can be found in foods, and is probably the best option to try and get it from your food, because it's going to make you feel full. Okay, so it's very, very easy to grab a protein shake and drink it and still be hungry. Okay, whereas if you had the same amount of calories or same amount of protein, you had a chicken breast or you had a bit of beef or you had a couple of eggs or something like that, you'd probably be fuller for longer. Okay, however, some people do not get enough protein in their diet. Some people, you know, do not get enough vegetables in their diet, or they don't get enough fruit in their diet, or any of these kinds of things. And this is whenever you start thinking about supplementation. Okay. So if you're not, if you're not getting enough protein through your diet, through the food choices that you're making, then you would look into something like a whey protein, a pea protein, hemp or beef protein, or any of these kinds of things. Okay. Which one's the best? The one that sits in your stomach and fits your diet best. Okay. Some people don't like the lactose. Some people find that it feels bloating to them whenever they have a whey protein. I'm one of those people. I used to have whey protein. I mean, for 3 or 4 years, 3 years probably had a whey protein, and thought that it was just the way that you feel after having a protein shake. Not the case. It was playing havoc on my gut and making me feel like sleepy and shit, which is not great. So I've switched since to beef protein, which is again just a powder. Just has a different taste, and it sits in my stomach a hell of a lot better, and I'm much better off for it. So whichever one sits best in your stomach and whichever one fits your diet requirements the best, in terms of whether that's, you know, you're not getting enough calories. Some of them have massive amounts of calories and maybe not as much protein. Some of them have loads of protein and not very many calories. So you just got to go searching about. If you have any issues or any questions, or you're not too sure whether one's good or which one's bad or which one's, you know, suited for you in terms of calories and macros, just send me a picture. Okay, if you want any advice or any help on it, send me a wee photo of the one that you're thinking about going for. I'll give you my thoughts on it. Okay. In terms of health, a couple of supplements. Like I said, if people aren't getting enough from their food, like their vegetables and their fruit and all that kind of stuff, a good multivitamin. Okay, just to make sure that things are topped up and that you're getting well looked after for your health. Okay, multivitamin. We don't get a lot of vitamin D because we live in Belfast, maybe the last week or so, but that's only going to last for so long, sadly. So vitamin D comes from sunshine and getting outdoors and stuff. So a good walk would do you all the world of good as well. Getting out and about and seeing as much sunshine as you can get, that's going to be great for you. Maybe some sort of a vitamin D supplement. You can get them. Actually, we've paired up with a nutrient, or sorry, not a nutrient, a supplement company. Nutri Advanced, I think their name is. Okay. If anyone has any questions about, you know, a multivitamin or vitamin D or vitamin C or any of these kinds of things, we can show you the stuff that these guys have brought out. Patty Joe has them, and they've actually given us out some samples as well. Been using them the last wee while, and they're absolutely spot on. The dosage on them is brilliant. So if there's anything that anyone has any questions about, you know, fish oils, another one, very good for cognitive function, eye health, skin health, joint health, all this kind of stuff. So I would say for health, you're probably looking multivitamin, vitamin D, vitamin C, fish oil. And I would
What about
say, pardon?
like a probiotic?
Yeah, you can go for that if there's something up. Yeah. Especially if you've recently had an antibiotic. You know, that's one of the things. You know, if you've been on an antibiotic, then people don't go for a probiotic, which is, you know, it's going to help out there. What was the other one? A magnesium supplement I would use in the evenings as well, kind of help with the sleep. Doesn't necessarily make you drowsy or anything like that, so it's not going to help send you off to sleep. That's going to come down to having a good sleep routine and getting yourself ready and prepared for bed and all that kind of stuff. But I found that it actually helps with the quality of sleep. I wake up a lot fresher. I don't wake up as groggy. So the sleep quality, it's a much deeper sleep that I'm finding that I've been having for having the magnesium supplement there. Off the top of anyone's head, yeah, calcium, magnesium. I think it's the ZMA stuff you're talking about there, Kat. Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, you can get it in a couple of different forms. There's I can't remember off the top of my head. The dosage and stuff of them can be different from brand to brand and all that kind of stuff, but also the type of magnesium, again, I can't remember off the top of my head, but the way that it's absorbed has a big effect on it. Okay, so the dosage could be massive, but if it's not a, you know, well absorbed form of magnesium, doesn't matter how much is in it, you're not going to get the use out of it. So again, the company that we've been pairing up for, one of the things that they have I think maybe about 4 or 5 different magnesium supplements. So there's plenty of information. If anyone wants any of the information, I can send it on to them. Just send me a wee message on WhatsApp, and I'll shoot over their website and any of the wee brochure things that we'll have from them. Okay. Is there anything else on supplements that I haven't covered or anything like that? Is anyone thinking about getting
Well, I was just going to say, Steve-O, for anybody else that doesn't do dairy very well, I've got egg white powder from My Protein, and I find it blends really, really well. It doesn't give me any bloating, and so I just checked it on MyFitnessPal just there now. So it's a 30-gram serving is 101 calories, 1.6 grams of carbs, and 0.1 of fat, 23 grams of protein. So it's quite high protein, and really nothing else, no other shite in it.
Yeah, is that a protein powder?
It's just egg white powder.
Yeah. Good stuff. I would, yeah, the beef protein that I take is something similar. I think it's maybe off the top of my head, it's about 110 calories. I think it's 27 grams of protein, 0 carb, and like 0 point something fat or something along those lines. It's very, very, very lean. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think it was a good wee bit. Oh, sorry. I think it was a good wee bit cheaper as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's loads of different options there. It depends on, you know, like you're saying, that the lactose feels like crap in your stomach. Like people were telling me, you know, don't mix it with milk then. And I was like, no, honestly, I have never mixed it with milk. I've mixed it with water. Yeah, it's lactose that's in it. I've mixed it with water my entire life, and it always felt bloating, which is weird because I don't get that feeling when I'm eating yogurt or anything like that. Sometimes get it whenever I'm drinking, milk on its own or whatever, but not to the same degree as the way protein had me. But each to their own. Some people love it and it doesn't sit in their stomach funny, and whatever one suits you best is better for you, in my opinion, anyway. Okay. Right. So we've went through all of MyFitnessPal stuff. We went through how to actually use it. We went through food quality and quantity, 80-20 rule, supplements. Is there any questions? I think that's it. Hold on, I'm going to check the chat box here a wee second.
Can I ask one regarding alcohol? So I love a glass of wine. So if I'm adding that into my calories, I've been told that alcohol slows down the fat burning process, so it doesn't really matter within it if it's within your calories. Is that true?
I don't think so. To be honest with you, like if I wake up and have 3 glasses of wine and nothing else, I'm going to be under my calories. I might be a wee bit bloated the next day, and I might be holding a wee bit more water and stuff like that there, or anything like that. But I think, as long as you're within your calories, it's going to even out at some point. The next day you might, go up. It's usually, I find, any time that there's been drinking involved, it's usually the stuff that surrounds the drinking. So it's usually a glass of wine and a Chinese, or it's usually a glass of wine and then, oh, you know what, I'm feeling a wee bit cheeky, I'll start dipping into the cupboard and eating the things that, I hadn't planned on eating. Or it's the next day where you're dehydrated and you're craving things to try and help that feeling, where you kind of go off plan there as well, or even worse, you go back on the drink. You know what I mean? And you do it all again. But no, I would say that if there is any kind of slowing down slowing down metabolism or any of that kind of stuff, I wouldn't be concerned with that. I wouldn't be concerned in that so much that I would overlook my calories and overlook everything else that's going on. Did I skip out there? Is that okay?
That's fine.
There a wee second? Good stuff. Right. Is there any other? So Catherine, hold on. Can you send me info on the best one for absorption? Yes, I'll sort you out there, Catherine, with that. I'll just need to find their website and stuff, and I'll send you across the details. Right. So if there's no other questions, guys, then I think that's all good. I would like to hear from you. So I'd like to hear one thing, the main takeaway from today. Okay, so I'm just going to go across my screen here. First person on it is Jim McGivern. Jim, big main takeaway from today. What's one thing you're going to take forward?
David, there's a couple of things, to be honest. I really had to go back and take time around MyFitnessPal, because I want to be honest, I found that a bit daunting. And there's a lot of stuff for me to take in there. It's new to me, but it's something that I want to learn about, and I want to build into what I do. Generally, a lot of information that's going to be helpful for me in terms of food choices and supplements, nutrients, the 80-20 route that I can use. But thanks very much for, there's been a lot of information to take in. I just probably going to need to go back, revise it, and revisit it and revisit it again.
No bother.
Thank you.
No bother. I actually have everything that I've went through on the call today. I have pre-recorded as well. So I have a playlist on YouTube. I think Chris has had a look at it before, I think, as well, haven't you? Yeah. So I've got all those videos, and again, it's me screenshotted on the phone, flicking through and showing you where to go. So,
Steve, can I just excuse myself at this point? I just need to step out. Is that okay?
No bother, Jim. Thank you very much.
Thanks for all the best, folks. Bye.
Take care.
See you later. Cheerio.
Good job.
Right. Next one is Anna. Anna, give us a wee takeaway for you.
Suppose for me, Roisin has already been drilling this into me, but for me, it's about looking not just at calories, it's really focusing on protein intake for me. Like at the end of every day, sort of hone in on that, because my struggle, I suppose, is meeting my calories every day. I'm struggling to reach my calories every day, but I know what I'm putting in to top it up isn't what I should be topping up it with. So I'll be just looking at that every day now, in that wee drop down that you were able to show us.
Yeah.
Sort of,
So the wee drop down thing, then maybe planning a day ahead or a couple of days ahead
Mhm.
is going to be good for you. Do you know what I mean? So like
yeah,
pre-logging the food so that you know what you have and what you need to have more of or whatever, instead of kind of going through the day and going, holy shit, I need to catch up on.
yeah. I need to eat stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Danielle, we take away from you.
Yeah, that setting the meal function is actually quite good because my problem is I just forget to scan, and I'll bulk make food and bulk cook and then forget to scan everything, and then after the third day think, oh flip, I don't know how much I'm eating, and so just that's probably it.
Yeah, and having it divided out and stuff into the portions.
Yeah, and having it, like you say, scan it for a couple of days. If I know I'm gonna have the same thing 3 days in a row, scan it so it's already there.
Yeah.
Quite handy.
Good stuff. Marcella, one from you.
You hear me? Yeah. So, very important, very interesting. The fact that calories is not, the only important thing. At the moment, I'm following a diet that the PJ gave me, so everything is already there, wrapped for me. And he only talks about calories. I know it's the good diet because he studied for me, but I don't know how many proteins are in every meal that I have. So I need to study more to understand what is in a potato, or kale or this and that. The MyFitnessPal, I think, is a good thing because he helps you to learn how to break down the food, but maybe it sounds unpopular. I don't want to leave tracking my food for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a good tool because you have a goal to reach,
Mm-hmm.
but eventually, and the lockdown helps, so this is the right moment to do it. But, eventually I don't want to count everything I eat to make sure that I don't feel guilty or I'm doing something wrong, because it becomes stressful. I used to be on diet when I was a teenager and I was at that point, and I don't want to go back there.
So yeah, absolutely. But one of the points that I was trying to make at the start there, okay, I'm going to ask you a question. How many calories is in that?
77, 78, something like that.
Okay.
But just because, PJ diet says that 2 eggs are 155, so.
How many grams of rice is in that bowl?
No clue.
Exactly.
I need a scale.
No,
Yeah.
but my point is, right, I can get very, very close to scooping 15 grams of peanut butter out of the jar just by my eyes. Okay.
Yeah.
I do go and I do set it on the scales when I'm finished, but I'm pretty fucking good at doing it now. So eyeballing and seeing the portion size is a lot better now after tracking than it was before. So that is probably, I'm going to say probably about 20 grams of dry rice. So what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to have a better idea of the food that I'm having because I've done all the work in the background. So the point is that you won't need to track every single day for the rest of your life. You just need to track for a while so that you can become more aware of the food and the measurement sizes. And, if you hold a chicken breast up and you go, that looks like a 125 gram, portion of chicken, but you wouldn't know otherwise if you hadn't spent a wee bit of time tracking.
Which is something that is already happening, because I'm portioning my chicken. The first 2 or 3 weeks, I was relying on the scale. Now I can see, okay, if I cut enough, I have 2 servings. I know already, and then it could be slightly different, but
and as boring as it is, you can make it fun by trying to challenge yourself to see if you can cut off exactly 120 grams of chicken every day. Do you know what I mean? No, but it is a good way of doing it. Good stuff, Marcella. Good stuff. Chris, what about you?
No, I enjoyed that, Stephen. And look, to tell you the truth, it was just getting a greater understanding, greater knowledge. But I think, like Marcella, it's that meal size to me is important. I don't know from a grams perspective or a meal size and the correlation with calories then as well. So I need to get more attuned to that. So that's where my focus will be.
Do you have kitchen skills and stuff in the house already, or is that something that you'll need to get?
I'm going to need to get that, Stephen.
Good stuff. Yeah, the wee one that I have there, I think it was maybe like 10 or 15 pound in Argos.
Oh, so that's salter, yeah, it's a salter. So And I think that'll be useful. Yeah.
Good man. Darren, what about you?
I think just sort of reinforcing the sort of stuff I've been taught before. At the calc on the BMR and stuff was interesting. Not something I'd done before, so actually do it myself and not rely on MyFitnessPal's estimates and see if there's a difference between the two.
Good man. You'd probably be surprised at the difference that's actually in the two of them. Christina, how about you?
Yeah, I found it really good. My issue is that I have recently became really addicted with what calories I'm eating. And even though I'm under eating my calories, I get really guilty with anything I eat. So I think last week I sent Andrew a picture and it was 2 poached eggs on low calorie bread. And I was like, can you just tell me what you think of this? Because I feel incredibly guilty. I've just ate that. So my issue was it's just not understanding. I didn't understand how, because carbs would tend to bloat me. And you know, because I've been doing so much work lately, I'd come home and it'd be like, as I said, like a bowl of pasta. And recently I've been eating loads of Marks and Spencer's food, so I'm able just to check the calories and I'm like, oh, it's fine, it's within my calories, but it's getting my head around how can I lose weight off this? I think it's all down to dieting before, where everyone thinks, oh, you cut out your carbs or you cut out all bad things and it's just chicken and rice. So it maybe just freaked myself out a bit lately, because no matter what I ate, maybe a salad or a boiled egg, I feel really guilty. So it's just understanding calories, carbs, fats, protein, but no, it really helped.
Good. So one of the things that I picked up on was that you were saying you were having those kind of meals and stuff, and like they're already like Marks and Spencer's prep meals. Is that right?
So you know how Marks and Spencer's are pretty good. They put the calories on front of everything, so it was really easy for me to track what calories I was eating. But I was going, oh, this is a vegetable pasta bake. How can I lose weight off this, even though I'm still 6 calories down in my day, you know?
Yeah, you want to watch as well with those kinds of things as well, like the preservatives and salt and stuff that might be in them. It's not even just the calories and stuff there. They can have effect on how you feel in terms of bloating and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, if someone prefers having a higher carb number on a daily basis, that's up to them. Sometimes carbs makes me feel bad as well. So bread and stuff would make me feel pretty shitty. So I would opt for things like potato and rice and stuff. They, you know, the grains and stuff. The breads and stuff. You feel pretty bloated, whereas I can get away with it with potato and rice. Doesn't affect me as much. So it might be an opportunity for you to kind of expand your horizons on what kind of food choices that you're having. Having things like more beans and lentils and quinoa and all that kind of stuff, and start getting a wee bit more experimental. And the more you experiment with foods that you probably haven't eaten before, chances are you might not have that kind of feeling of guilt around it.
Yeah.
Because it's something new and it's you know, it's good for you. Then think these are natural foods, these beans and lentils and all that kind of stuff as well. And it, you know, like you said in the past, people have, you need to cut out bread and stuff because that's bad and that's the thing that's going to stop you from losing weight. So obviously there's going to be some sort of an emotional or a psychological attachment to, if I eat bread, there's something bad going on here, which isn't the case. It's only the case if it makes you feel physically bad. Like I was saying with me, bread and baguettes and all that kind of stuff make my stomach feel like shit, and it makes me not perform well. And that's the only reason that I should feel guilty, or maybe not even guilty. That's probably not even the right word for it. It's suboptimal. It's like if I need to grab something very quickly, I'll grab a sandwich, knowing that it's not the worst thing in the world. It's probably not going to make me feel great, but I got to eat something. I've got to get some calories in, and it's either that or a bag of Doritos. Do you know what I mean? And I know which one's going to make me feel a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah.
But good stuff anyway, though. Thank you very much for coming along. Emma, what about you?
For me, I think it was just a wee bit of realism, because I'm one of those ones that stick in chicken breast 100 grams. Oh, that'll do me. So I don't like measure anything, or I just guess everything. So I think I just need to realize, things need to be weighed, and I just can't be playing a guessing game no more.
Yeah, wait a wee second. I just want to show you just again, because I don't have a chicken breast here because I kept it in the fridge. I didn't want to let it go warm or salmonella or whatever. But I'm gonna do it with just the peanut butter. Okay, so where's my diary? Just to show the difference that's in it. So that peanut butter that I use there is the the Meridian one, and the difference. So 12 grams is the last serving that I put out there. 12 grams of it was 74 calories. I don't know if you can see that or not there. Okay.
Yeah.
Even if I just bring that up to, let's say, 13, brings it to 80 calories. 15 brings it to 92 calories. 17 brings it to 104 calories. So you can see how, it's very, very small amounts. And we're talking very, very easily missed grams just from scooping out a bit of peanut butter and going, that's about 12 grams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So have you got scales as well? Is that something you're going to need to get?
No, I do have scales, but just see, to be fair, my partner does most of the cooking, so he cooks everything, and I'm like, no, how much is in this? So it's both of us then guessing together who does it, because he cooks it all. So I think probably I may need to pay more of attention, or like melt his head then, rather than when we're sitting down to eat it, to ask him how much is in that. And he would be quite good in working it out, but I think that's where I probably struggle as well, because I'm not cooking it and I'm just eating it.
Yeah. Well, obviously, yeah, it's going to be a wee bit out of your control, unless after it's been cooked, all the packaging is left to the side, and then you can start scanning everything after it's been cooked. And I put that whole packet in there, or I only used half of that tin, or I only used whatever that. Then you can start scanning that in and do that recipe thing that I went through earlier on.
Yes, I started to do that as well. So he would be, because he works with numbers, he's very good at calculating and breaking everything down. So usually we'll sit down, he's like, why didn't I ask me as first before? But I've got some of them done, but I do think I need to start weighing and checking a wee bit more.
Yeah, it'll make such a difference, honestly. It really will. Good stuff.
Thank you.
No problem. Catherine, what about you?
Me. Oh, sorry.
Hold on, sorry. Cat, your Cat Hull, Catherine McCluskey. I'm sorry, I'm going in order on my screen.
That's good, because I have 8% battery left, so I'm going to be safe, hopefully. No, for me, I have scales, but I don't have the wee spoon cup thing, so I ordered them while you were talking. I have a peanut butter scooper who doesn't know what 12 grams is. And the other thing for me really was the recipe function. I've never used it. I use meals, and I love to batch cook, so that's something I didn't even know was possible on the app. So I'm going to start definitely doing that.
Good stuff. Give me a wee second. Sorry, Oliver's fucking shouting again. 2 wee seconds here. Hello. Sorry, yes, last then, Cat Hull.
Aye.
Right. One from you.
For me, that recipe thing I'm going to use as well, because I'm the same as you, Catherine. I do use the meal option, and I'm quite stringent when it comes to weighing out things and all. So that side I have down, but the recipe thing will be good. Adding a lot more veg into things as well, and I'm starting to become more interested in like the performance side of nutrition as well. So the batch cooking and stuff is all down, meal prep and all. Just need to get on top of that. That'll be a discussion with you, Stevie.
Good stuff.
That's good.
Good
seminar.
Right, guys, that is it. That's it all wrapped up and finished. Thank you very much for coming along and sticking around to the end and all that kind of stuff. If you have any questions that end up popping into your head at any point, just send me a wee message and let me know, and I'll be as much help as I possibly can be.
Well, thanks, Steve-O.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
Enjoy the
Cheers.
rest of your weekend.
You
Bye.
See you
too.
later.
Bye.
See you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye bye.
See you.